the really important thing about the entire convergence of society into this digital world is really 2 points. First, as you mentioned, the sort of democratization of participation. So across the board on everything from publishing to creating to commerce to connecting, all these different domains, we've seen the barriers lowered so that virtually anyone across the world can participate. The second thing is that when you have a critical mass of participation, a couple of things happen. First of all, you get a lot more data than you had ever seen before. And so what I would like for you to think about is the idea that there can be a network effect in having a critical mass of data.
Ultimately, there are far more mobile phone subscribers in the developing world than there are in the developed world. The mobile phone has had a far greater impact on their lives than it has on ours. And so ultimately, the mobile phone, and I think to some degree the internet, it's a developing world technology, and there's so many exciting things that can happen once we start really thinking about going from what Gary said about leveraging big data, looking at data coming from these devices and coming from usage patterns in these emerging markets. There's a lot of exciting things that can happen, ranging from helping urban planners design better cities in these African capital cities to computational epidemiologists trying to figure out how disease will disseminate across a host population in a place like India. So I'm really excited. I think the technology in these emerging markets is a space that more people should be excited about too.
So what made Facebook the difference? Why did Facebook win? Why does it have 500 million active users today? It's because the network had a much clearer structure around it than any of the others. It was closed from the start and remains semi-closed today. And it was also focused on making sure that users were replicating their real-life identities. These were constraints that we put on the network in particular, and it made it stronger. Same thing goes on the Obama campaign. When we launched all of our software, we definitely wanted to enable grassroots action, but inside constraints that would actually help us win more votes and win the election, not just to build buzz or to build excitement.
The media and political landscapes in 2020 are going to be pretty different than they are in 2010 right now. People are talking about news curation. How do you find the news that you trust? And nowadays, frankly, even though I'm a man in my declining years, I do like what the kids do, and I get news largely curated on Twitter and Facebook and RSS streams from people I know and trust. This means that the individual brands and media and so on, brands of people or small groups, may become more important than that of big organizations. This is changing now, it's changing already, and I have a feeling the pace of change is accelerating.
To the degree that information that they're sharing to create these social networks actually comes back to bite them over time, say they don't get their job or something like that because of something they posted. I think I cited some number for recruiters using this information. We'll look at social sites, and I think 70% have rejected candidates based on what they've seen on the sites. Now, to the extent that that enters into the psyche of people who are users, that ends up being a slight damper to the exuberance of jumping on these systems and just wanting to put everything out there. So there's an evolution, I think, that has to happen.